advice.
A very good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to UBC TV. Welcome to News Tonight. Let's start with a look at the headlines. Mr. Byabagambye denies allegations of closing down plastic manufacturers' businesses. Media Council to regulate social media. World military leaders, scholars gather at 9th Beijing Shenzhen Forum, while in sport, Uganda finishes third in the African Netball Championships. Welcome once again. My name is Michael Jordan Lukumwa and I'm with Mugalu Mohammed, our sign language interpreter. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has arrived in Sochi for the Russia-Africa Summit slated for the 23rd to the 24th of October 2019. The summit, which is the first of its kind, will be co-chaired by the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, and President of the Republic of Egypt and the current Chairman of the African Union, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The summit that is being held under the theme Uncovering the Potential for Cooperation seeks to discuss potential ways of strengthening and expanding Russia's relations and areas of cooperation with Africa in the political, social and economic matters. 36 heads of state of African states have confirmed attendance and will be joined by other leaders of major organizations across the world. It is being held at the Sirius Park of Science and Art in Sochi, one of Russia's largest convention venues. Upon arrival at Sochi International Airport, President Yoweri Museveni, accompanied by his daughter Diana Museveni Kamuntu, was welcomed by the Russian Director of Protocol from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Igor Bogdashev, the Ambassador of Uganda to Russia, Johnson Olwa, Ugandan Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sam Kutesa, and Minister of Science and Technology Innovation, Dr. Elioda Tumwesige, among others. President Museveni, who will later tomorrow hold a bilateral meeting with the host, President Putin, and different leaders of Russia and Africa, hopes to exploit partnerships in areas of space, science and technology, including with Gazprom, the general partner of innovation in space. In more news, the Forum of South African Businesses in Uganda has held an inaugural business summit to deepen ties between the two countries. Trade between both nations has been facilitated and boosted by the economic benefits resulting from several bilateral agreements in place. The business summit at Speak Resort Munyonyo was presided over by Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, who hailed the formation of the Forum of South African Businesses in Uganda and hoped that it will facilitate trade. We have
over 70 South African companies are today registered in Uganda and estimated to have total assets of over 3 billion shillings. South African businesses have contributed to Uganda's development through creation of jobs, tax contribution and growth in various sectors of the economy. Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda encouraged Ugandan businesses to utilize this forum.
Ugandan businesses are looking for opportunities for growth through joint venture partnerships to increase exports to bigger markets. Given the size of the South African economy, as one of the biggest economies in Africa, we are keen to ensure that favorable policies are put in place to continue the collaboration that we have established. Trade between South Africa and Uganda needs to be scaled up for the benefit of our peoples in both countries.
This summit will give both Ugandan and South African businesses an opportunity to explore possibilities for partnerships and enhance trade between both nations. The South African High Commissioner to Uganda, Professor Major General retired Lekoya Soli Molo, spearheaded this inaugural summit. The summit was also addressed by the State Minister for International Relations, Okello Oryem, and attended by representatives from Ugandan and South African businesses. Doreen Nasasra reporting for UBC News.
Minister for Karamoja, John Byabagambi, has denied allegations of being behind the closure of plastic manufacturing factories. He was appearing before the Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources, as Susan Naonga reports.
No. What should we do? Should we carry on investing? Should we carry on bringing in machineries? Or should we just close?
In 2018, Parliament passed the Environment Bill 2017 into law, banning the manufacture and use of polythene bags below 30 microns. The implementation that started months later was intended to protect the environment from degradation. However, this caused mixed reaction between plastic manufacturers and the implementers.
After the meeting, as we are winding up, he still stated it, that I am going to close you down. I don't care about the law that has been put in place. This law, I'll just change it myself. I'm sorry.
I, as an individual, one person, can amend the law and close the factories, amend the law. I hope you have got education. Were you educated in school? Do you have anything about the law?
Plastic manufacturers and recyclers petitioned Parliament mid this year seeking an intervention into the alleged planned total ban on plastic manufacturing. They accused Minister for Karamoja, John Byabagambi, for threatening to fuel the total closure of plastic manufacturing.
Otherwise, taking 5 years to amend the law, and immediately after 5 years, we're discussing the same law. Just a second, let me.
But as we talk of now, I myself, I agree there is law, and the law should be implemented. I'm not stopping the law.
They allege that the consultation is an indirect way of igniting total ban of plastic manufacturing. However, Byabagambi says he was selected to do the consultation on this issue by Cabinet.
We are talking about millions of dollars which are being invested in this industry. Should they invest or should they not invest? Is the question at hand, Honorable Chair.
Now, there was a contention whether total ban or continue with the law of recycling. And in their wisdom, they said, okay, go ahead, consult. My duty is to gather the views of the people, and I take it the Cabinet.
The role, the terms of reference were to establish, to study the modalities of recycling polythene bags.
Members of Parliament have now tasked the line ministries to clarify on the state of plastics.
I'm concerned when the Cabinet President's letter comes, and you said it was a resolution of Cabinet, and there are no terms of reference attached on the letter. Okay?
We're not persuaded by the recommended aspect of 30 microns that this committee was proposing. You debated in favor of a total ban of caveras.
The Environment Bill that was passed repealed the National Environment Act Cap 153, replacing it with the law that conforms the existing government policies and the relevant laws. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV News.
Thank you so much, Susan. Cabinet has approved 4.5 billion Uganda shillings to help in the relocation and rehabilitation of street children in urban centers. The State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Florence Nachwala-Chinji, says that at least development will see rid most streets of street children and beggars. This was contained in her address to the media during the weekly Cabinet Decisions briefing at the Uganda Media Center in Kampala.
So what we are aiming at right now is to make sure that we embark on the remaining activities. One, to create permanent presence on the streets and in the focal point areas where these children normally carry on their businesses. Two, to create more awareness through the media by engaging our friends in the media on a more permanent basis, and to create awareness within the public about the vice. And also, we are targeting extending beyond Kampala. We have that vice primarily in Busia and as far as the border, beyond the border. We also have some hot spots in Wakiso and other areas in northern Uganda. We are also looking at feeding for the already children that we have in our custody, who are numbering to the 725 children that we rescued from the streets. We still have the onus, the responsibility of ensuring that they feed, they go to school, they have good health, and that is the reason that we are partnering with a number of agencies to ensure that we have an all-round package for the children.
Honorable Florence Nachwala-Chiyingi, Minister for Children and the Youth at the Uganda Media Center this morning. Uganda will join the rest of the world to commemorate the United Nations Day this Thursday at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. The focus of this year's celebrations will be popularization of the Sustainable Development Goals in promoting human rights, social progress and world peace. Addressing the press in Kampala, Minister of General Duties Mary Karoro Kurut revealed that Cabinet has tasked all government agencies to develop strategic plans which are commensurate with these SDGs. On her part, the UN resident coordinator hailed Uganda for localizing the SDGs.
So as we celebrate this year, the UN Day, government has been collaborating with the UN very well. This is why we are joining in the celebrations. And yesterday in Cabinet, I presented a paper on Sustainable Development Goals. And actually, globally, Uganda is the first country to take to Cabinet such a paper, because government had committed itself. Government committed itself long ago, but when you take it to Cabinet level, then it is cemented. It is put, a very firm foundation is laid on, and is an improvement of what has been done.
That means on the 24th, we'll be celebrating not just 74 years of experience of existence, but also 57 years of Uganda being an active member of the United Nations. I want to take this moment to thank Uganda for its contributions and for its sacrifices in the global arena to ensure peace and security, as well as its contributions in humanitarian affairs and development.
Journalists in Uganda have been urged to be professional as regulation of the new media is into the roadmap for the 2021 general elections. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, advised while introducing the new Secretary General of the Uganda Media Council.
As the 2021 presidential elections period gets in, the Electoral Commission is proposing a ban on the use of cameras to ensure protection of voters' privacy. The call comes at a time when citizen journalism and social media have taken space on Twitter, Facebook and WhatsApp to give opinions, causing anxiety.
Is to devise a mechanism working with the likes of the Uganda Communications Commission to ensure that individuals who practice citizen journalism are first and foremost given the necessary capacity, but beyond that, to see that we enforce a certain standard.
Bajire spoke shortly after unveiling the new secretary of the Uganda Media Council, David Ketume-Kansanga, who took over from Pius Mwinganisa. He urged the Media Council to ensure standards in the media.
You find one-sided version of stories which are not authenticated. So it's a challenge that we have. We live with it in this era of what we call fake media. So I expect that the council will do as much as possible to indeed organize that space as well.
Within our mandate, we should restart the discussion around our media history and future of journalism in this country, energize reconciliatory arbitration of disputes wherever and whenever they occur, initiate media excellence awards, and strengthen the safety, protection and welfare of journalists, as well as their training and media literacy.
According to the chairperson of the Uganda Media Council, Mr. Paul Ekochu, the move to have the industry practitioners registered is underway to get rid of unqualified and unprofessional practitioners.
I wouldn't imagine that somebody who knows how to play very good music would know how to analyze politics.
Established by the Press and Journalists Act of 1995, the Media Council regulates the mass media in Uganda and arbitrates any disputes within the industry. Benatiga, UBC.
With congratulations to our senior Chetume Kasanga on taking that big post. We take a very short break. News Tonight will return with more, especially in business, international and sports. Please keep around.
Check target. Dial star 1625. Get 100% on data and bonus. Win instantly with Mega Masape. Just recharge and hit your target.
Mega Masape from Airtel is back. And everyone, we mean everyone, gets a bonus. All you have to do, check your target, recharge, get 100% bonus on data and minutes. Dial star 162 hash today to know your target.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The two-day symposium will look at the latest intellectual property rights within the Internet of Things, uncovering the impact it has on innovation and development. Discussants will cover areas in pharmaceutical, big data, telecoms, ISPs, banking and insurance, government, energy and automotive. The main purpose of the conference is to examine the best ways in which to use knowledge and innovation to boost youth employment and foster the adoption of new technologies under the theme Innovation and the Internet of Things. Book now online at www.symposium.iptech.com. Registration for local delegates is $150 and $200 for international delegates. Happening on Thursday 24th to Friday 25th October 2019 at Speak Resort and Conference Center, Kampala. For further inquiries, contact Juliet on 0712 139 916.
Mommy, you can't touch it. You can't touch it. Daddy, what's wrong?
I've had a long day, Angel, and I have a bad headache.
Oh, I'll give you something that will make you feel better if you promise to play with us.
Headache? Toothache. Unapoumwa, unataka kitulizo kwa haraka gani? Mara moja. Pain and Fever Reliever. A quality product from Beta Healthcare. Contains paracetamol, caffeine and aspirin. Beta Healthcare. Caring for all. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Uganda is celebrating International Day of Rural Women. The celebrations are scheduled to take place on Thursday, 24th October 2019 at Arapai Sub-County Headquarters, Soroti District. The theme is Rural Women's Economic Empowerment through Saving and Affordable Credit. The guest of honor will be the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development, Honorable Janet B. Mukwaya. The national celebration is organized by the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development with support from the UN Women and the Embassy of Sweden.
Does heartburn stop you from eating the things you love? Eating too fast, alcohol or spicy food can trigger acidity, heartburn, indigestion or flatulence. Your best bet is Better Cool. Better Cool works fast to relieve acidity, heartburn and indigestion. Trust Better Cool. Enjoy life. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
News Tonight will come back from the break, and this is what we have for you in the business news section. Ugandan scientists want to collaborate with other scientists in the region to widen the knowledge sharing base. The outgoing chairperson, the Uganda Biotechnology and Biosafety Consortium, Erostet Nsubuga, confirms the establishment of the East African Biotechnology and Biosafety Alliance, as we see in this report.
Ugandan scientists are rooting for strong collaboration with other scientists in the region to harness science and transform the economy. The outgoing chairperson for Uganda Biotechnology and Biosafety Consortium, Erostas Nsubga, says scientists in the region need to work together to drive the science agenda. Nsubga was handing over office to the new chairperson, Dr. Peter Waswa, at Uganda National Council for Science and Technology.
Believe me, in East Africa you'll find that most of the sciences now, what will be demanded in East Africa will be produced by our scientists. Because looking at Uganda alone and narrow in terms of agriculture is being too narrow, looking too whatever. But believe me, there will be people now from all over East Africa, you know, both scientists and private sector, to fund and to benefit from each other. So when we're talking of this platform, setting up a platform to get these two meet, scientists and private sector, we don't only talk about Uganda, it will be very narrow. And
the scientists also want close partnership with researchers and the private sector in order to commercialize the products from research. The Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation will also support young innovators in schools.
So I fixed this driving gear onto the wheel such that they share the same center here and they rotate together.
In the ministry we have a department called Department of Intellectual Property and Innovations. So already that shows you that in this layout and the structure of the ministry, the plan to support innovators was there at the conceptualization of the ministry. And already there is an exercise going on around the country to profile innovators. We have teams which are going to the universities, which are going to research institutes to profile, at least have a database of start of point of which innovators in which fields and what they are doing.
Currently, government has established the Innovation Fund to support scientists in conducting research and developing products. Adiana Kuti, UBC.
We'll now take you to news around the world, and there, over 530 defense officials and scholars from 76 official delegations gathering to discuss global security cooperation. As a high-level security and defense forum, this year's Xinjiang Forum has the theme Maintaining International Order and Promoting Peace in the Asia-Pacific. State Councillor and Minister of National Defense of China, General Wei Fenghe, delivered the speech at the opening ceremony at the Beijing International Convention Center, as we see here.
Military leaders and scholars have again gathered in Beijing for security talks and defense contacts. At the opening ceremony of 9th Beijing Shanshan Forum, Chinese Defense Minister Wei Fenghe read out the congratulatory letter from Chinese President Xi Jinping and made a keynote speech on China's stance and hope in maintaining international order and promoting peace in the Asia-Pacific region.
All countries, big or small, strong or weak, rich or poor, are equal members of the international community. They all have the equal right to embark on development path of their own choice.
4 plenary sessions and 8 concurrent sessions are being held one by one on arms control, relations between major powers, the interests of small and medium-sized countries, and international security, as well as maritime security.
Interference in the internal affairs of others, inciting color revolutions, and attempts to overthrow lawful governments of other countries are the true causes of wars and turbulences in some regions.
The guests have high expectations and bring their voices and hopes on addressing conflicts.
The right way is cooperation, is multilateral cooperation, is the right way is to stop wars.
These include hopes for better China-U.S. ties.
Hopefully we'll be able to share some views here that will be useful. Maybe we can come away from the Xinjiang Forum with some new ideas about how the two countries can work together going forward.
This year's forum is nice since its inception in 2006 and sets its sights more on bridging the gaps among countries and seeking common goals in a shared future for all. As one of the world's most observed defense and security discussion platforms, Beijing Shanshan Forum has received more attention and attracted different voices from around the world for the common goal of making this world better.
In sport, Uganda has finished third at the African Netball Championship in Belleville, Cape Town, South Africa. Uganda defeated neighbors Kenya 61-42 in their final game of the tournament. Hosts South Africa have won the tournament undefeated in all the games, while Malawi came in second. Team Uganda is believed to have failed to display the kind of performance expected, as some key members of the team, including Captain Peace Proskovia, were left out on the squad that traveled. 12 players and 11 officials traveled for this particular tournament. Uganda lost to South Africa and Malawi before triumphing against Kenya. The African Netball Championship failed to pull crowds as expected, as well as nations pulling out last minute. Team Uganda is expected in the country Friday before players get engaged in the local league.
They started in Uganda, and most of them we used to meet them in East Africa, so they know us how we play. So they played us in the first 2 quarters, but we planned for them in the last 2 quarters, which made us to win them. And I think even their coaches, they know us, because some of them are like they come in Uganda and they see our coaches what they do. Maybe they learn from that, and that's why they're putting us some pressure at the first. The girls were tired.
Story not very good, but we still have a lot of time. We can always reverse the status quo. The new balance of power in the sport of woodball seems to be shifting from Deja University, which now seems to be facing competition during tournaments. The latest example of such a happening has been during the 11th Coral Coatings Woodball Championship at Muni University in Arua District.
Kampala International University has emerged victorious in the senior men stroke play category at the 11th Coral Coatings Woodball Championship hosted by Muni University in Arua District. With players like Thomas Kedi, Brian Gwaka and Bridge Biamukama, Kampala International University garnered 334 points, reducing favourites Ndeje University to second position. In the women's stroke play category, Ndeja University won the team event, but Joan Mukova emerged individual winner.
I've taken like 2 years without winning this event, but this time round, I believe it has been God that has helped me to win this tournament, and my confidence. I wouldn't say that it has been the training or practice, but it's God and my confidence that has brought me this far.
In the juniors category, Bukarabi Primary School won the singles and team categories in both genders to retain the title. In the stroke youth category, Air Force Senior Secondary School won both the singles and team event among the boys, while Luzira SS dominated the singles among the girls, but the team crown went to Mpoma School. The corporate category was won by Ndeje's Joel Miru among the men, while Amire Nanserek of Buganda Land Board bettered all women. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Thank you so much, John Barnes. Semper Alex Kim is ready with the weather updates. Let's have a look at it before we wind up.
You're welcome to the latest in weather from the Weather Center, only here on UBC TV with the Semper Alex Kim. It has been rainfall activities, and actually it is still continuing across the country. And over the last 24 hours to 9 a.m. this morning, Kampala reported 27.6 millimeters of rainfall, while Kasese reported 5.9 and Tororo 4.2 millimeters of rainfall. This is so because of the alignment of the rain belt over our region. Actually, it is quite spread over the region. That is why we are having a lot of rainfall. However, tomorrow morning we do expect rainfall activities across most parts of the country, apart from areas of the eastern as well as Roa, where we do expect sunny intervals. Well, into the afternoon we do expect a continuation of rainfall activities, apart from a few areas, especially along the Lake Victoria Basin, including Lira, where we do expect sunny intervals to dominate. Temperatures are expected to range between 29 degrees Celsius in Lira to 23 degrees Celsius in Kabale. Well, as for the nation's capital, Kampala, at 27 degrees Celsius as a maximum. And elsewhere across the globe, we are forecasting for Nairobi chances of rainfall at 25 degrees Celsius as a maximum, whereas London is expected to be quite cloudy at 14 degrees Celsius as a maximum. That will be quite cold. That brings us to the end. Stay tuned to UBC. I remain Semper Alex Kim.
Thank you, Alex. And now we'll have a relook at the headlines and wind up. Minister Byabagambi has denied allegations of closing down plastic manufacturers' businesses. Media Council to regulate social media. World military leaders and scholars have gathered at the 9th Beijing Shenzhen Forum, while Uganda's finished third in the African Netball Championship. That is all we had for you at our first edition of News Tonight. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Mohammed Mugalu. We'll get back to you at 10 p.m. with a bigger arrangement. Please keep enjoying our next program. Bye-bye for now.